The SOR-300SC is one of the new weapons introduced as part of the Season 1 Battle Pass. It can be unlocked in the free tier as part of the Rogue Operations section, and it's described by the devs as the perfect weapon for mid-ranged combat, a carbine rifle with low rate of fire and increased recoil control. This subcombat carbine is chambered in the higher damage 300 Blackout ammunition compared to the platform's 5.56 version. And while some of those claims are true, most of them would probably be better left on the cutting room floor of the marketing department. So today, we're going to take an in-depth look at the SOR-300SC, going over its stats, giving 3 builds that take advantage of its unique characteristics, and if you like what you see in this video, consider hitting that like button or subscribing to the channel, and let's go ahead and dive on in. So the SOR. When you get your hands on this one, it should feel vaguely familiar to those who have dabbled with assault rifles. The base platform of the SOR, or SCAR in real life, rest in peace King, is one of the strongest long-range options. With a steady rate of fire, low recoil, and amazing spread, it has become my go-to for long-range engagements, both in standard and in RedSec. The carbine variant looks to maintain those characteristics with a couple of twists on the formula. As the devs mentioned, the main difference you'll see with this weapon is that in-universe it has switched the round that it fires, moving from the standard NATO 5.56 round up to the 300 Blackout. In this game, this leads to a massive damage buff in close quarters. The 300SC is one of 3 carbines that have a damage value of 33.4, leading to a 3-hit kill. However, that damage is not carried out for very large distances. So with that said, let's go ahead and dive on into the stats of the weapon so we can take a look. The rate of fire of the gun is 600 rounds per minute, which is the lowest of any carbine. The reload, 2.25, which is the second fastest, only behind the M4 in the category, and the velocity of the rounds is 563 meters per second, which is about middle of the road among the other guns. The default mag capacity is 30 with a max damage of 33.4 and a minimum damage of 14.3. And from that, I hope you can see the damage on this gun is a story of extremes, offering both the highest possible damage in the class at 33.4, but then falling off to the lowest damage in the class. So the damage ranges are as follows. From 0 to 8 meters, you are going to be doing that 33.4 damage. From 9 to 20 meters, you'll be doing 25 damage. From 21 to 35 meters, you're going to be doing 20 damage. From 36 to 79 meters, you're going to be doing 17 damage. And then 80 meters plus, you're going to be hitting that 14.3 damage. This leads to some very interesting time to kill values. At 0 meters, you're looking at a 200 millisecond TTK, tied with the M4, but seeing itself beat out by the likes of the 417 and the 5.53R, aka the SIG. At 9 meters, the damage drops to a 4-hit kill and 300 milliseconds. At this range, it's only beating out the QBZ and AK. This trend of dropping effectiveness will carry through the other ranges, with it dropping behind the QBZ at 35 meters, raising its TTK to 400 meters per second, and then the AK-205 at 80 meters going up to 600 milliseconds, making it the carbine with the single highest time to kill at long range. On paper, this seems absolutely disastrous to use, but the gun does make up for it with its consistency of landing shots on target. Where guns like the SIG, QBZ, or M4 begin to struggle at further ranges with bloom when firing full auto, the SOR maintains the advantage of its assault rifle counterpart. That low recoil and tight spread allow it to maintain automatic fire at longer distances. Obviously, for the other guns, it could be mitigated by tap firing, but the fact that you are able to maintain automatic fire means that you won't have to lift off the trigger, which can even out the time to kill compared to the rest of those rifles. One thing that can help with this time to kill deficit is one very late game attachment, the hollow point rounds. They pair very nicely with this weapon, raising your damage to 50.1 in that closest damage range. This allows you to drop someone in 2 shots, which would bring your theoretical time to kill down to 100 milliseconds, the fastest of the carbine category. Obviously, this would be a difficult task and one that you shouldn't rely on, but the odd headshot can definitely assist you with this gun. As far as recoil goes, this gun has some of the lowest recoil and spread of any carbine. It is so low that you can easily forego the use of any recoil mitigating attachments, allowing you instead to build the gun into some other interesting loadouts, focusing instead on things like faster ADS times or the addition of a suppressor. With all that said, how should you be using this gun? To me, this gun is all about that closer quarters action. Its high damage in close quarters, along with standard magazine size, leads to fantastic ammo economy once you get into tight spots. This will likely be my go-to weapon on attacking breakthrough modes. It rewards getting close to the enemy while still having the accuracy to engage foes who pop up at those longer ranges. So this is going to be my recommendation for how to build the gun. In the early game, you're not going to have all of the tools. So we're going to go with a sort of get you by loadout until you really rank up the gun. For this, we're going to be running the flash hider to help with keeping off the minimap. We're going to be going for that extended barrel for higher bullet velocity, the red laser to help with the hip fire. We're going to go with the alloy vertical grip, the 20 round fast mag, and then you can choose basically your optic of choice. The goal of this build is to get you fast, dropping the reload to 1.991 seconds and the ADS time down to 167 milliseconds to give you the biggest advantage possible in firefights. This combo will allow you to be quicker on the draw than a lot of the builds out there and will possibly make up for your lackluster time to kill once you start pushing those ranges. Then we can move to what I can only describe as my fun build, the full hipfire build. This rifle does maintain a very good base hipfire, and we are going to use this build to fully accentuate it. So first off, we're still sticking with that flash hider. Then we're going to be running the short barrel, the flashlight, which helps with hipfire, the 50 milliwatt green laser, the compact hand stop, which is the piece of this build that makes it just so wonky. When you add the compact hand stop, it allows you to sprint in fire at the same time, meaning you could run around like a chicken with your head cut off and still maintain perfect hipfire accuracy. Then we're going to be using the iron sights, aka the basic sights, and then if you have it, the 40 round mag, just so that you have the most bullets possible. This build is all about getting the hipfire square as small as possible and then being able to use that small hipfire square as quick as possible. This build is for those movement gods out there. I am not one of them, but this build has huge potentials for those of you who enjoy jumping, diving, doing whatever you can in order to flank your enemy. This is the build for you. And then we get to what is my personal build for the SOR-300. Standard suppressor, extended barrel for better bullet velocity, angled foregrip for faster ADS time, a 30 round fast mag, the red laser, my preferred sight, which is the 3x scope, and then the hollow point rounds. You could swap it out for something like the thermals, which I have seen in the game to be very popular, given what can be described as a difficulty in acquiring and picking out people from the backgrounds. I think the thermals are also a great pick on this, or you could spend those points in something like a suppressor, but really basically pick one high-end item. For me, it's going to be those hollow point rounds for the potential to drop someone in 100 milliseconds in close range. I just absolutely love it. And guys, that is the SOR-300. This is my first weapon review that I've done for Battlefield 6. Let me know, does this have everything you wanted to see in the weapon review? Let me know down in the comments below. And guys, if you like videos like this, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. And I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. See ya.